All right, everyone look really cool.
Can you believe that
Jeff,
we're on a
Gary, you're not looking cool.
Awesome.
News at 5.
Okay, you have to shut up though.
That's Law and Order. That's how we start every show.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be our new theme song.
Hello and welcome to the Bad Hero Podcast. I'm your host, Matt McCarthy, and with me as always is Mr. Johnny Blackburn. How you doing there, Johnny?
I'm doing good. I'm glad that you invited me back.
Yeah, you're here every time.
Oh,
yeah, that's
I
cool.
forgot about that. Okay. It's in my contract. Right?
To his
Sorry.
left, so you're right, I suppose, is Mr. Gary Elmore.
Good to be here.
Fashion model Gary Elmore.
And here we have Jeff Wallace, or
Inter-
Jeffrey.
International comedic actor Jeff Wallace.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wallace.
They're both international fashion
The
models,
man
actually.
with the velveteen voice.
Oh, look at that, baby. Oh,
Jacket to
yeah.
go along with it.
What a hottie.
Basically Barry White.
Oh, yeah. So
Mixed with
we're
something.
shooting in the Channel Austin studio. I think it's called something different, though. I forgot.
I think it changed now.
Oh,
yeah.
no, I'm sorry.
It's a lovely studio.
Very
It's a
cool
lovely
studio. Very cool
yeah.
guys.
Love,
we actually
love the studio.
we actually did the auditions here for the Stay Hard thing a year ago, and
Our
you
Swedish
were
commercial.
right about where you are now,
Yeah.
auditioning for that thing.
That's,
Yeah.
Blowing lines left and right.
Yeah.
That's how Jeff made his mark.
Something.
In the world of film
Yeah, just
commercials.
make it up. Remember that, kids? If you're pursuing a dream, just make it all up as you go along. Just pretend like you know what you're doing. They'll
Yeah,
give you the part.
you did improvise that entire
They'll
audition.
give you
Yeah, I
the
forgot
part.
about that.
Jeff's awesome. Okay, cool. What we're talking about
Did we
this
call you
week.
back again?
Well, oh my gosh. What we're talking about this week, guys, is a Netflix phenomenon. Almost.
Phenomenon.
Such a phenomenon.
If
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things. Stranger
Oh, man.
Danger. Not
what,
Stranger Danger.
What
Stranger
an
Things.
awesome show.
One
Did you all
was
like
okay.
it, I hope?
Oh, shut up. So Gary and I were hanging out on, was it Friday night or something? And I was like, you know what? Let's see what all the fuss is about, and let's check this out. So we watched the first episode, and we were a little less than thrilled. We're like, all right, we'll still give it another episode, maybe to get into it. Literally after 5 minutes of the second episode. Hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked like that.
Johnny was like,
8
I'm not
episodes.
staying up till 7 a.m. watching this.
We had to go edit the Bad Hero reel.
Yeah.
That's why I was an hour late, because we stayed up till 7 a.m. watching the entire first
Yep.
season.
It really isn't a TV show as much as it's an 8-hour movie, I would say, with little
So good.
intermittent breaks.
I mean, you literally mix Super 8, Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Jeff was saying Stand By Me.
Stand By Me?
Yeah, I mean, you're mixing
Yeah,
all these
totally.
great 80s
A
classics
little
together.
E.T., a little E.T.
And there was a little
as
E.T.
well.
in there.
And
yeah.
it wasn't cheesy 80s. It wasn't like
No.
making fun of the 80s and just
Yeah.
it was actually nostalgic, and it's weird because we're all 90s kids.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so but it
I
still
was born
felt
in the 80s.
nostalgic. You're born like 88
You're
or something.
88, Gary. You were not.
87.
Oh, shut
Okay, fine.
up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So you were
2.5
3.
when 90 came around.
It was a great time. It was a great time to
1990.
be alive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, your first memory was hypercolor T-shirts, which was 1991. I'm pretty sure.
You know my first memory.
You told me. Your dream. And ancient eye contact language.
Yes.
Awesome.
No, it's-
So without spoiling it, because it's still pretty new, and I
It-
don't want to spoil it
It's still pretty
completely.
popular. Yeah.
But if you are worried, just go watch. Which camera am I looking at? That one? Okay, cool.
It's very
Sorry, we're new to all this. Hi.
looks like a robot.
So if you're
robot.
really not wanting anything at all, just go watch it and watch this podcast later, because we might slip up here
We
and
might-
there.
we
We've
we-
been known to do that.
We're
from time to
notorious for
time.
spoiler
Which one?
alerts.
No,
Yeah.
which one would I cut there? Wait, cut back. Is it that one?
It's
Okay,
that little
cool,
green light.
awesome. I've
Okay.
got it. I think I've got it figured
Well,
out.
both had
now.
green
Okay,
lights.
cool.
Look at 'em.
Well, that one's right. That
Awesome.
one's kinda dim.
Wait, now cut to yourself. Cut to yourself. Oh, there
Hey,
you are.
Candace and
Give it up to
Chris,
the people in the
beans
booth.
and
Awesome.
cheese in the booth.
Woo!
In the booth.
Okay,
Raising the roof in the booth.
and enough.
If we're ruining this for you, yeah.
This is fantastic.
okay,
What are you
you're
talking
right.
about?
You're right.
Frankly, you're watching a podcast where we've mentioned Stranger Things several
Yeah.
times.
We
so
we
that's
just
true.
spent the last
You're-
hour
you're a dumbass.
singing medleys of everything.
Let's
from
not talk about
70.
that. Let's
Oh,
not
it was
talk about that.
fantastic. They're
So
gonna
why
hear
don't you give us a quick synopsis? Just sell it. Don't overview it, but sell it. Why should I go see this? What the heck is Stranger Things? Why do I care?
I mean, it's a group of essentially. So it's got the aspect of Stand By Me, where it's just a group of kids on an adventure to I would say discover themselves, but that's not quite it.
Put your phone away.
One
Gary.
of the Gary, put that phone up.
It's already put away. Matt, you get your phone out.
One of the Sean Byers, one of the lead kids there, gets kidnapped by. I really just don't want to give too much away. Gets kidnapped.
An unknown
That's right.
entity.
There you go. We'll go unknown entity.
Byers?
Pretty sure is it Will? Or, yeah, that's
Will
right.
Byers.
And Jonathan's the older brother.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gets
never
kidnapped
seen this.
and yeah, that's right.
It's time to go play.
It's
We've never
basically
seen
about
it. Okay.
this. It's this small town that has never really had any. Thank you for showing us what small is. Yeah, comparative to large
Yes.
things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
New York.
This is
appreciate
already
that.
off the rails. I love this. Okay. And
Speaking of rails,
And
railroad
20
tracks,
minutes to
stand
get
by
through the
me.
synopsis.
Go watch
This small town basically is plagued by this unknown entity that was
U.S. government.
that was found in an alternate dimension by the U.S. government. The U.S. government happens to be stationed there at one of the local energy plants.
Yep.
And then a child who's basically one of the side experiments that they're working on. I guess she's one of the main experiments actually. She escapes as well, and the
she has powers.
group. She has powers.
She's kind of from that MK Ultra program, if y'all are familiar with that.
No,
it was
what's that?
It was a real program that the government ran to try and get like psychic powers and kinetic powers and to try and spy on the Russians.
They built her as a weapon to stop the Russians. Okay,
Although
so it's during the Red Scare,
never
right?
really been established if that was a real thing or if it was something that they wanted the Russians to believe that we could do. You know what I mean? Like if that itself was the mind game, potentially. But either way,
Yeah.
they try to get people to do stare at goats and kill them. That's where
Yeah.
the Men Who Stare at Goats Coen Brothers movie comes from.
Yeah.
So-
But, I mean, who knows what really happened? I mean, jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Oh man.
Oh boy, let's.
But anyways,
let's just breeze right over
that's
that one.
that's primarily what it's about. And over the course of the season, you see different main characters in the show begin to see different instances that lead them to believe that the story the children are telling is true. Random people will die in it here and there. The body count's really not that large, actually. Surprisingly.
My favorite part about it really is that it starts with your typical, it's a mystery thriller, right? That sort of thing. And just slowly, piecemeal, people start believing the conspiracy. Like at first it's just the kids, or no, it's just Winona Ryder's character, and we'll get into the cast in just a moment. But like first it's Winona Ryder's character, and then it goes on, and more people kind of realize we lost Johnny. Okay, he's getting his cell phone to check Facebook. Now, I think he's gonna get the IMDb and check out the cast for us. But yeah, more and more people start getting on board, and what I really like about this, and this is the reason I like things like The Wire. And I know that everybody for some reason doesn't like that. I like The Wire, but
The one with Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
no.
What?
Um,
What are you thinking?
Where he walked across
America's
the
raving.
No.
Don't
No,
watch The Wire
That's the
and make Matt McCarthy angry.
So The Wire, we don't need to talk about.
Okay.
Anyways.
This is a bad joke, I think, you guys. No, but
Womp
I like the
womp.
fact that I like every single character. Like you kind of think the cop's an asshole, but no, you like him. You kind of think that
You like him towards
one
the
of the
end, though.
boyfriends is an asshole. No, you kind of like him. So
Everyone's a protagonist
yeah,
except for Will.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Will's the
in
mystery.
his own way, he goes through a whole set of experiences, but really his experience is what drives the story forward. But all
good
these
point.
other people around him are really overcoming something. Like the sheriff, for instance, had a child die, and now he's addicted to pills and doesn't really believe in anything. And when all this starts coming together, he almost feels like
That was
there's
a
way
huge
to.
spoiler, but
Matthew Modine is a bad
I like
guy.
it. No, you're right.
you
though.
know, that's-
Yo, you're right though. Yeah, everybody's a protagonist. I love that so much. But very quickly, I just want to harp on it a little bit. Winona Ryder was probably the weakest link for me. Like she,
I like
Get outta
Winona
here.
Ryder.
No,
I
she
like
was
her.
She was
not.
great.
I thought
She stole the show.
am I alone on that?
I think you're
Yes,
alone
you
on that
are.
one.
Oh man, no! I thought that
It's cold in here when you're by yourself, isn't
Oh
it?
man, I know. I think the writers just didn't figure that one out. Like I don't know. If
She
they,
was in distress the entire movie.
I didn't buy it for a
I keep
second.
calling it a movie because that's what it is.
Dude, I didn't
It
buy
is.
it for a second.
I think she did a fantastic job.
She did.
I mean, her character was written to be completely neurotic and insane, and she was. Like,
Well, 'cause
that's-
her son was
shadow
abducted.
dimension.
Exactly.
She was Winona Ryder acting that part.
You let your son get kidnapped by the Upside Down, and you tell me how you feel by that.
I just
Spoiler
I don't
alert.
know. It just seemed. What are you guys doing?
know what that
Okay. We just. I don't know. I didn't like her performance, but that's just me. Apparently, I'm alone, so I'll just bow
Alone
out.
like Will.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, what did you guys think? I
Alone
mean,
like
Ouch,
Will.
were there
man.
any weak links at all? For you
Oh,
guys?
The parents.
The dad in
parents.
particular,
Oh,
the
God.
one that
Eat
was,
your chicken, honey.
Eat your chicken, honey. I know that's all you can think about right now with the death of this child, but
Yeah.
eat your chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All the parents in that were so terrible.
Yeah, the father of the Wheeler's father, the brother and sister, he was just. I don't know if they wrote him to be that bland and unappealing, but I
think they did.
I guess so.
He
If
pulled
that's
it
the
off.
case, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
but
I
I
think
could
he
have
was-
done without his character, and really Barb too. The redhead that was
she was
Wheeler's
a
sister.
cliche for sure. I'd
Yeah.
say, yeah.
And she was only.
I liked her though for some reason.
Well, don't spoil it.
I'm not.
She was part of the vehicle, to move.
Yeah.
She was a
Yeah.
plot point. You know,
Yeah,
she's
I'm
out
not
there
saying I
moving
didn't
around.
like her performance. I'm just saying the character I didn't like. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. I didn't like Frodo, but Elijah Wood acted it well. He acted it well, but he was a little bitch. he was whiny.
Oh, my God.
And
There was
we'll
an
get to learn about
incredible
this later.
burden on him.
I think you're alone in this one,
Why
Johnny.
do I the sympathetic guy to all these? He's like, you don't like Frodo, and you don't
You don't like Winona?
a mother whose son is.
No, I
taken
like
into
the
a
mother.
dark
I don't like
dimension.
Winona Ryder.
What's wrong with you guys?
Well, whatever. Well, let's move ahead. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. I want to talk about the music a little bit because I was chatting with Walter. Shout out to Walter. He's not watching.
Yeah, Walter
but
Nichols.
whatever.
What's happening?
What's up, dude?
We'll get you on here eventually.
And actually, I'm kind of adopting his complaint about Winona Ryder. If I'm being completely honest, which one is it? Oh, hi.
Plagiarism.
But yeah, something like that.
It's the cool thing.
It's not just for breakfast anymore. But
When was it ever for breakfast?
so
No, he stole
was
that
a
line.
joke
That's
that
an example.
Okay, and we lost Johnny.
It's like Inception.
But I forgot what I was gonna say. No, so the music was by. We looked that up actually. It's somebody.
Music. Look up music.
It's somebody in
See what music comes up.
in Austin. It's a group in Austin, I believe, did all the music.
David Estrada was actually telling me that. the
Dude,
other day.
it's awesome. It's like 80s, but again, not cheesy, not over the top. It's
Survive,
just exactly
name of
where
the
it
group.
needs to be, and it picks up on those little synth patches, but it doesn't come across as cheasy. It
Right.
comes
It was
across
like the music
as
in
like,
Lady Hawk, kind of. You ever seen the movie Lady
I
Hawk?
haven't seen Lady Hawk.
Never
no.
even heard of
Michelle
it.
Pfeiffer and Ferris Bueller.
Matthew Broderick.
No.
Those
The artist formerly known as
she
Ferris
is a
Bueller.
hawk who is a woman also who turns into a hawk during the day, and her estranged lover is turned into a wolf at night and a human during the day. So they never ever see each other.
Is this something that was actually
and there's synth
existing?
music. It's a medieval time style movie, but there's synth music over the whole thing, and it sounds
I have
a
to
lot like
watch
Stranger
this
Things.
now.
And that's what
It's
this
a
is
great
like.
movie. Well, the music, yeah.
Oh,
It's
cool.
1986.
All right, I'll have to
was the
check it
movie.
out.
Yeah,
83.
So Survive was the name of the group.
Survive.
that
Okay,
did that.
cool.
Survive.
Yeah, shout out to them, man, because they're
the
they're
TV
awesome.
show.
They're super
Lady
awesome.
Hawk.
I don't know.
Oh,
What
I
y'all
don't know
think?
that.
What are some more talking points on this? Like,
How about we talk
Oh,
about
you
the
ta-
stories, like the structure?
The structure of the story itself.
Series like that
Yeah.
versus movies, like
Yeah.
the way that they put it.
Why is
in.
it so much more compelling nowadays? And we were talking about this outside.
Yeah.
About how, and I mean, you can touch on this, Jeff, because you were the one that brought it up. But
Yeah. So I want to understand why, what it is that. Well, I know what it is, but like an 8-hour movie essentially is what we watched.
Yeah.
I mean that's
Yeah.
what it is, and there's so much more time to develop, but it feels like a series at the same time, so you're able to stay with it. I mean, if you just sat through an 8-hour movie, you'd say obviously no, like you'd leave. But the way that it's set up, it's almost episodic. There's a small arc within a much larger arc, but the way that the much larger arc is set up, it really ends in such a way that you don't even need another season. Like even though they're going to make another season, I'm actually fine
have
with where
to,
it ends right
yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I think this is kind of the way of the future. I would like to see. Instead of having just a 2-hour movie or a 5-season series, I would like to see just 8 episodes or 16 episodes, and that be it. I mean, like you can really tell a story that way, and they succeeded. Like everything that it ends with, the metaphor is perfect. Whatever we see Will do at the very end of the show,
Right.
he's in the end of the show. By the way,
It could be a flashback.
He
It could be a
doesn't die.
flashback.
people know.
he doesn't die.
oh god.
He was one of the favorites there. No, and I think that's what
He's
we were
a
talking-
child. They
That's
don't
what
kill children
makes it so
in movies.
compelling is the fact that
Well, they do.
sometimes you need in this case, a full 8 hours to really connect with the characters. And in my case, I mean, I connected with the majority of them at least halfway through, at least by episode 4. But yeah, I mean, that story arc, they didn't have to rush it. And that's the problem with movies, is it has to be done in about 2 to 3 hours. And with this, really, they can take as much time as they want. So that's what I loved about it. I'll save my Netflix spiel for the end, because I really want to get into that.
Oh,
But
I'm intrigued.
yeah, I'll get into it, but we'll finish with this first.
How about your Netflix thing?
Yeah,
Netflix
we
and
kind of broached the subject earlier.
Gary went for the soft.
But Gary and I were in full unison on this part. What we found was really dumb.
Really dumb.
Oh, Gary, I'll let you bring this one up because you love talking about it.
Go for it, Gary. What was really dumb about this?
Oh yeah, the parents they were just like so terrible. Like their kids would be like, "Oh no, I was just out at a rally, a memorial." Oh, and the parents were like, "Oh, okay. Is there anything you need to talk about?" And they're like, "No, we're fine." And
3 deaths in this city.
Yeah,
and
I
the
like-
parents are oblivious to what's
yeah,
going
it's just like the worst parents ever. Like I mean,
guys are just upset about Will.
yeah.
Just stay out all night, okay?
How does a child live? How does an 11-year-old girl live in your basement for an entire week and you don't take notice?
Yeah, I mean,
How
like,
does that
you
happen?
got to do the
How are your sons
laundry or
playing Dungeons
something.
and Dragons, which is everyone knows leads to hellfire and brimstone.
Exactly.
And you don't even know that.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean,
gateway to hell.
yeah, and clearly it
know
was
that.
for this movie.
Oh my god.
It's the 80s.
Yeah,
They were special
but
songs. How'd they miss
no, I
out?
mean, like the parents were just like the weakest aspect of it because it was everything else. You know, I kind of believed and went along with, but just the parents were bad.
Yeah.
They really did. Just back to the casting, they really did. I mean, they casted it so well. I mean, honestly, the kids, the 3 in particular, were my favorite part.
They're awesome. They're so freaking
they were so
awesome. It was
fantastic.
ridiculous.
I mean, they combine a good balance of comedic timing and energy, and just wholesome, sensitive moments.
Yeah, they were genuine.
Yeah,
they were really
Yeah.
It's
genuine.
almost like in
Sincere.
South Park. Like they're the ones that actually know what's going on, and the adults don't.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
It's
That's a
kind of
good way to-
interesting.
yeah,
Like
that's a good way to
they,
think
they
about it.
really know what's happening in the story, and like it's almost like a roll of the eyes to get everybody on their side. So that's why they had to make.
They're
up so
just
many
messing
stories.
around
It's
with
great.
transitions in there, man. Like we're doing all sorts of crazy stuff right now.
I feel like I'm at Six Flags.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
But yeah, I am. Wait, break the fourth wall. Go.
Calm down,
No,
Deadpool.
Wait, go. No, the other
guys.
fourth wall.
You
And break.
interior shot. There we go. Yay!
They're like, where's the voices coming from?
Okay, so they're just dicking around in there. I love it. Yeah, but
Why was Chris naked?
those kids. Right.
Oh, I saw that. Oh.
Where'd my flicks go?
But yeah, no, those kids were awesome, and I think like South Park too. I think the writers had a big part to do with that. I don't know what were they, the Duffer
Duffer Brothers.
Duffer
yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
But to go
I
back
haven't either.
to an earlier point of yours, I really liked that, like how it kind of all came together because it took like 5 or 6 episodes because everybody knew kind of like a little bit of the story,
Yeah, right.
and then eventually they kind of all get together and piece the whole story together. And I thought that was a nice build up and transition.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the way that they limit it. Okay, so there's some really interesting things because obviously, you know, in storytelling, the rules of the world are really the most important things of what you're willing to accept and not accept. So when you start seeing strange powers and all that, I mean, the moment you saw in the first episode an alien-looking creature, you already know you're in for something
Supernatural.
Exactly, the rules of the world are already set. So they had to find a way to limit those rules too, to where it's not so insane. Like when you see 11 using her powers, I like that they use that. Like her nose starts bleeding. Like you actually start going, oh no, because you really
She's
care about her.
deteriorating because of
like,
how much power she uses.
You care about her by the end more than you care about the fate of Will. And actually, a lot of the fate on her is whether she succeeds or not in saving Will, which makes us care about her even more.
Which makes the ending so good.
Yeah.
And it
So, but like the way that, like, I really love the way that they limited the use of her power because she could have just been, it could have been just ridiculous. And she could have just been flipping vans and doing all that, and it would have been cool, I guess. But you wouldn't have cared as much about it happening if it didn't harm her
Yeah.
so much.
They did a
And-
great job
and
with
they
not going
paced
overboard.
Self-sacrifice.
And they
yeah.
paced that
Love it.
really, really well.
They did.
They didn't give you grandiose stuff for a while. It was
Yeah.
tiny little stuff.
Here
And
and
so by
there,
the time you got grandiose, you're like, oh, holy shit. You know, like exactly how the kids would have felt. And, oh man, it was just beautifully done.
And it's interesting because the like the nose bleeding trope. I mean, like if you saw Hardcore Henry, the bad guy in that was
That one sucked. I hated that
Awesome.
one. That was so bad.
80s
Don't ever
PBS
do
special.
that one
What's
again.
going on?
The more you know.
Reading Rainbow.
I think that would work better if we were at Six Flags doing like a Love Shack video.
Oh,
you know,
God,
like
that was so bad.
and
For
you
those
do
of
one
you
those
just
wipes,
listening to the
you know,
audio, Chris and
I
Candace
dissed
try
them,
to
so they
transition.
pan me out. They're like,
good.
"Ah,
I don't
bad, man."
Anyways, Gary, go ahead.
yeah. So
Sorry,
like
Gary.
in Hardcore,
Dude,
there it is again. In Hardcore,
They did it again.
in Hardcore Henry, like the bad guy, he had like the same sort of power set, and he would also kind of bleed. So I mean, it's just it's like a trope that we know already so well, and you don't have to even do any backstory or explain it because people just kind of get it.
as opposed to Regarding Henry, in which Harrison Ford goes through an intense struggle.
Or Blade Runner, same thing,
Well, yeah.
same movie, really.
You know, Con Air.
Yeah.
More like Con Craft.
my plane! Get off my plane! Get off my goddamn
I meant Air Force One, but Con Air sounded better.
You ran the snakes. Is that a movie?
Gary Oldman,
Is
he's great.
No?
It was a phantom punch.
You and your snakes, get off my
Can you name all these movies?
Oh God, let's not do that. Let's not do that game.
I
We should
think,
do a game though.
I think for later on when we get towards the end, I think this is perfect to do top 5 typical 80s films.
Oh,
Because this was based in the 80s.
Let's do it right now.
We haven't prepped that.
You know what
Oh,
else I
God.
like?
Do it right
I want to say this about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I really liked how they used the trope, like the very obvious bad guy, like the
Matthew
shitty-
Modine's
the
character.
shitty-
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, not just him, but the shitty
else?
boyfriend, because the Matthew Modine's character moves the
Oh,
story
yeah,
along.
yeah.
Actually, if anything, in the metaphor, they are the like them and the shadow world are the same thing. That's why they're so curious about it. Is
Yeah,
odd
yeah.
because they are the shadowy government agency trying to explore the shadow world, which is. Like they're already there,
Right, yeah.
That's why it's there in their base.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean.
It's
Like,
just the upside down.
it makes sense. But no, I mean, like the boyfriend, like the guy that the girl
Steve.
chooses. Yeah,
Steve,
yeah.
yeah.
Like that was a cool twist on an '80s trope that I liked. Is that he actually did become redeemable, not like in that cheesy '80s movies way where everybody just goes. And the bad guy
Slow
goes,
clap,
"Oh, okay, me too." You gotta give it to the guy.
He had a chance to redeem himself towards the end.
Well,
Yeah,
he
that
really
was a
did.
nice
Well,
touch.
he,
It was really nice.
he
Some
did,
spoilers.
He did twice. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
and he did redeem himself.
He did. Oh,
like,
for sure.
stayed
yeah, even in the
solid.
epilogue, he did that gesture, you know, and really, yeah, he was awesome. He actually, I kept wanting to like him, and I'm really glad that I was allowed to like him at the end because I
Yeah.
kept thinking like, man, I hope it's not just like she falls in love with some other dude and then he's just a jerk. I really hope he.
Well, everybody
redeems
else
himself.
is redeemable in the movie. Why can't
Exactly.
he be?
Everybody's
You know,
redeemable.
I hated every single character with the exception of the kids.
You
at
hated
one,
every single character.
at one point in the series.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I
That's what I
loved
meant.
every single character.
I did want to have kind of. I wish they'd spent a little bit more time with Matthew Modine's character, who was sort of the antagonist, just to sort of get his like why he was doing it and kind of humanize him a little bit.
Yeah, and if it had been a 5 season series, you would have seen lots of that.
Well, I mean,
You know,
like
that's
Could very well be
like,
though.
with the chief, you see a scene of his backstory when
Yeah.
his kid's alive.
I think
and-
with Matthew Modine's character though, and I don't really you don't really see them do that a ton in television series where they give a backstory to the villain.
Right, and I thought that would have been
Lost.
interesting because then you'd be like, hey, I see where he's coming from, and you know,
I kind of
it's-
liked not empathizing with him. I
Yeah.
kind of liked
Needed
being
one
able
person to
to
not
point
like.
at a.
You don't think
bad
that just
guy.
kind of makes it too simple?
I liked that. I liked
Okay.
that they kept with the themes that they were dealing with, and were just like, this guy is just a curious dude who got his head too deep, and I'm glad that there wasn't some big backstory because enough people had backstories, and I was invested in enough characters that it was nice to be able to point at that entity as a mysterious entity and be like, I don't like them, and then point at the
Right.
crazy
Boba Fett.
alien dude and like, yeah,
He's
kind of.
cool.
Got that story. Oh yeah,
He's
Don't tell
crafty.
me about
he
him.
is one of the
Just remember
crappiest
that, Disney. Don't
freaking
tell us
bounty
about
hunters.
Boba Fett. Just let him be
I
mysterious.
was like,
We
what the
like
hell are
him.
you talking about?
I think
Boba
if they had given him a
That's
backstory, I think that would have given us kind of a hint to the future that he would still be around and that we could possibly like him in the end. And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
been
I kind
maybe-
of-
things to juggle.
Maybe
How
not
much
like
is
him,
all
but
of-
but at least understand him, like where he's coming from. Because
why he's so nuts and
well,
intent on
why he was
making
so
his own weapon.
dedicated. Because I think
Right.
that makes it a richer story when you're
Yeah,
like,
it's almost like he's an MK Ultra experiment himself, or something, or like he's brainwashed.
That would be
himself.
interesting.
Yeah.
that would be
Well,
interesting.
he's
if he had
brainwashed
become that.
himself over time,
'Cause he's-
because that's his only concern. Like everyone's just expendable. It's
That's
about getting
so-
to
yeah, he's
the
like,
goal.
I want to protect my country, so I'm going to do anything that I have to. to do that.
That's so M Night. That's so M Night. Just like he was.
We
great.
love M.
He
Night
was-
Shyamalan on this podcast.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what the heck was
Happening.
it called? Split. Oh, God.
Split.
Split. Well, hey, I do like
Stranger
James
Things.
McAvoy though. I will probably see that because James McAvoy.
I did like Devil, although he didn't really do much
did.
of
All right,
that.
hey,
the screenplay.
let's.
He wrote the screenplay and
Oh
produced
God,
it,
let's
yeah.
please not go. Let's
Devil
not do
was
this.
good.
Let's not do
Anyways,
this.
we'll get to him
I don't want to
eventually.
go to M Night. I don't want to talk about him.
And now a new episode,
And
M.
now
Night Shyamalan
let's
Ding
move
Dong.
on. Let's talk about our top 5
Sing
80s. Where we move
Oh,
to 80s.
nice.
Yeah,
nice
we can
transition.
do 80.
That was
80s
cool.
films
I
real quick.
guess I didn't see
I'll go
it.
on my tangent at the
circle.
end.
Circle. Nice. Do it again.
They got the square. There you go,
Nice.
yeah.
Yo, they're getting good at it. Do you see that shit? Wait, shoot to yourself. Circle though. Now, no, circle to yourself.
There you go.
Yeah, There you
Yes.
go. Circle back. They're learning just like we are. Okay, top 5 80s movies. Is
80s
that what we're
movies,
doing?
yeah.
E.T.
Oh, come on. Boring.
I love
The
it.
only other
Gary
E.T.
That's
sucks.
what I loved about Stranger Things, the Millennium Falcon sequence where they're flying that thing around.
That was pretty
awesome.
Eat your heart out, E.T.
Yeah.
You could have done it, but you didn't. Did it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Top 80?
How
Like
about,
just-
how about you, Gary? Just one of your favorite 80s films.
Oh, God. Indiana Jones is great.
Which one?
My favorite
pick
one
one.
is Last Crusade because I love,
Okay.
love the Sean Connery.
Oh, judging
God, I
real
love
hard.
Sean Connery, dude.
So much.
You know what? You don't even know.
I would
It's a good judgment.
You have chosen
wisely.
poorly.
Oh,
Nice.
I would have to say Bloodsport. No, I'm kidding.
Bloodsport.
John-Claude
Karate
Van Damme.
Kid.
Great movie. Karate Kid was good too.
Kickboxer 2.
I've always been a fan of David Hughes, to be quite honest. And I freaking loved Breakfast Club. Honestly.
so
That was
when did Die Hard come out?
88.
88, right?
Okay, that's my favorite one.
Die Hard is a fantastic
When did Terminator
Christmas
2 come out?
movie.
91.
That was 91.
Dang it.
But
You're right. Okay.
yeah,
That was 91.
the original Terminator was 84, I believe.
Yeah, but
The original
Terminator
wasn't
2
as good
is
as the
so
second
much
one.
more
The
fun.
original
for me,
Terminator
yeah.
has a better story, though.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Like Terminator 2 is actually Eddie Furlong is the worst actor in the history of cinema. Well,
Whoa,
great in
that's
American
intense.
history.
Okay.
That's intense.
yeah, sorry.
Gonna
What would you
retract
say,
that.
Matt? What's
Cool.
your favorite one?
My favorite 80s film?
Yeah.
I think Die Hard.
Die Hard, you think?
Yeah, man. Die Hard's awesome.
I needed more prep time for this. I'm not prepared.
Yeah, we
to-
weren't ready
yeah,
for this.
I mean,
it was supposed to be, what
yeah.
was it supposed to be? I already forgot.
Oh, we were originally going to talk about Swiss Army Man, but
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was like the
not enough
entire-
people have seen it.
So we didn't do top 5
Stranger
for
Things
anything.
has been.
By the way, if you're interested in 80s movies and culture, there's a book by Ernest Cline, who's a local Austin writer, called Ready Player One. And it's a very fantastic read. It's got a lot of references to the 80s and tropes like that. So I recommend that if people still read. Then do
Yeah.
it.
People still read.
It's probably on audiobook, dude. Come
Butterfly in
on.
the sky.
Yeah.
I can read it and record it. Take
the
a
DMX
look. It's in a book on reading rainbow. Reading rainbow.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Rainbows. I really.
Rambo.
Speaking of Rambo.
Oh, Commando. That's a good one.
Commandos.
85.
We can all agree that the 80s was one of the best decades for films.
it was cool.
Speaking of rainbows, Predator.
And we were.
Oh, my God.
Predator.
It was a chopper.
Can we come to an agreement?
I feel like we kind of skipped over like Empire Strikes Back somehow, and I don't really know how we did that because that's an '80s movie technically.
Is it?
1980.
Yeah, 1980. That is
Oh, wow.
probably.
I guess when I was saying top 5 80s films, I was thinking like the more quintessential family childhood movies.
If
is
we're-
kinda what
Yeah,
I was getting
I
at.
thought it was Luke Skywalker.
Adventures in Babysitting. Love that.
Adventures-
Ghostbusters. How do we forget about
that's right,
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters.
Oh my God! See, we weren't prepared.
Don't see the new one, but the old ones.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Not
Actually,
prepared.
this is the small aside, but have you seen Kung Fury?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Enter the Fist.
Oh, yeah.
So
Into the
good.
Fist, yeah.
It's so good. If you haven't seen it, it's awesome. You can find it on YouTube. It's like 30 minutes. You, audience.
You, America.
Yeah. You, America. I screwed it up. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so what's our top one, though? Can we come to an agreement?
God.
One
No.
top one?
Okay, fine. I pick
Jeez.
one. It's
Okay.
Die Hard.
Okay.
You pick one. One, dude.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire
I'm sorry.
Strikes
I'm
Back.
sorry
Okay,
you don't
fine.
like
No,
it.
it's fine, it's
E.T.
fine.
if not.
Okay, no,
It's
what-
John Williams somewhere.
Oh my God. Die Hard is a fantastic movie.
Hard is one of the best action movies.
God. I'm Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Okay.
Choice.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I'll stay with my not David Hughes. I'm sorry, with my John Hughes Breakfast Club.
Okay, Breakfast Club, Die Hard, Empire Strikes Back, and what was yours?
Back to the Future.
Now we
to
just
the
need to
Future.
mix those, and we can do our own.
Oh
You
my God.
decide,
type
audience.
series.
Back to
Thanks
Big
for
Breakfast.
bearing with
Leave
us.
it in the comments section below, or
Yeah.
subscribe up here.
You do all that. Yeah, dude,
I don't know how this
We'll
works.
call it Tauntaun High.
You're right. I really never do this. You're right. I should do a call to action. So, yeah, me and Johnny are part of me and Johnny and Gary and Chris.
Shout to Chris, yeah. Oh, good looking man.
We're part of a production company called Bad Hero Productions, and this is our podcast. So check us out. This guy has been in our films or our commercials, I guess. Candace has been in them too, who's the lady in that booth.
Yep.
And Candace. Oh,
I set you up perfectly.
that was bad. Oh no.
And
Candace.
Candace. Candace.
Do a white and
Candace.
beans.
Come on, do a what?
Okay, where's we blew?
Ah, she is. Chris, what are you
He's awesome.
doing?
Okay, he's moving out of the way.
Okay.
Potatoes. So yeah, so check us out, subscribe, do all that stuff, comment. This was, we were just having fun in the studio, but we're gonna try and do it this way. And I'm looking over here now.
We'll do better next time.
And
I'll
they'll
get
get
on my
better at
Netflix-
transitions,
my Netflix
hopefully.
tangent next time.
But we appreciate you listening and hanging
Watching.
out. And like always, keep it real.
Stay wicked fat, everybody.
My love is in the word, you just have to hold on to it.
Okay, here we go. It's time for Johnny's. Oops, scratch that. No, I'm not gonna do something gay like that though. I'm gonna say nope. Go back. Sorry, redo. I'm gonna say, it's time for the
Time
Mulligan.
I thought we were live.
Mulligan.
No, we're not live right now. I'm cutting all
We're
this shit
dead.
out. Okay, here we go.
Jeez.
And back to me, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Stop. It's time for our guest, Q. Jeff, what should we watch this week?
If you haven't seen the indie film Ink, do yourself a favor and watch the movie. It is possibly the best indie film in the last 5 or 6 years.
Ink.
Easy. It's
Okay.
called Ink, and it is very, very good. If you don't cry, you're not a man.
Okay. Ink. Awesome. And Gary Elmore, what do you think?
I'm going to go keep it with the 80s theme and say that Adventures in Babysitting is a fantastic movie.
Elizabeth Shue. That's
Yes,
very
yes.
nice.
Love Elizabeth Shue.
Adventures in Babysitting?
Yes, yes. And great Vincent D'Onofrio's in it too.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth Shue, if you're watching, yes, I will marry you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
You heard it here first.
You heard it
Gary
here,
will
guys.
marry
All right.
Elizabeth Shue.
Ink and
Adventures in Babysitting.
Adventures in Babysitting. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.